What's up guys, Cigar Carpenter Mike, and today I am not doing a cigar review. I am addressing an issue that I think a lot of us cigar enthusiasts, hobbyists, whatever collectors have if you have thermoelectric humidors. I have a Needone 48 liter, and these shelves are cool in theory, but awful. You can only put so many cigars on it, and then every time you open that thing and pull a drawer out, cigars are falling off the edges. I've ordered replacement drawers before, and that works fine, but it's not really cost effective. They're somewhat expensive no matter where you get them from. And there is a better solution, and I have that in my possession now, so I'm gonna do a little how-to video. Mostly because I don't really like the how-to video on the guy's website for it. So I'm going to take you over to the workbench and show how to put sides on this thing. All right, so these are how the shelves come. It's got a little stopper on the back right there, and it doesn't have anything on the sides to keep things from falling off once you've pulled the drawer out. The stopper on the back isn't very big at all. And what I did as a temporary solution for a while is some nicer cigars, it doesn't have to be a Dunbarton Unicorn and a Padron 60th, but they will come in these coffins, which you can put on the edge here and keep cigars from rolling off the sides if you have them in this way. The other solution obviously is to have them go this way, but then they will roll over the back or they will roll over the front. You still need to put up some sort of like curb system. And it only works, you know, up to here, and then cigars will roll over. And really you have about 4 inches of space till the next drawer. And so you're not really utilizing that humidor to its fullest. Obviously you want to leave room for airflow, but in the past I have ordered drawers from either Amazon or Warhorse Woodworks, which is where I got these upgrade kits from. But they're like 50 bucks, no matter which way you put it. And you've already got these shelves. If you are even slightly handy, you can buy these side pieces. The reason, I know, I'm Cigar Carpenter Mike. The reason I went with just buying these side pieces rather than making them by myself is enough wood to do one of these is about the price of just buying this kit. This kit is like 25 bucks shipped, right? And sure, you could buy the wood if you're able to find the wood. It's like 1/4 inch thick Spanish cedar, right? And you could, even if you just had a table saw, you could cut these dados in here and you could make these pieces. If you just get like 1/4 inch cedar by about 4 foot for one of these kits. This would be harder to do if you didn't have like a router, but you could make these pieces. But what his video says is you need to, these are pretty rough, right? He doesn't sand them down or anything. He recommends hitting them with 220 grit sandpaper, which I don't really see the need, but it's what he recommends, so give it all a little sand, I guess. But I thought that the main concern was it fitting into these little dados he has here, but they fit pretty nice right off the bat. So I don't think I'm gonna waste my time sanding those. So yeah, there's really no rough edges on this. So the next step that he goes into is, I use tight bond at work, I use tight bond at home. I think it's what he recommends also. Any sort of regular like wood glue, and put a little bit in here, right? That may have even been too much. Then it says take a Q-tip, kind of spread it out in there a little bit, and you're kind of gonna need a flat surface to do this on. So I'm gonna move the shelf itself to the side, and then on these side panels there is a groove that the back goes between. So basically set it up smart. Get your glue in this back one also. And then hit it. On his video, Keith is his name, the owner of Warhorse Woodworks, I believe. Sorry, Keith, if you see this and that's not your name. But he just glues it and lets it sit, which I get for a very do-it-yourselfer. If you don't have a nail gun, that absolutely would work. If you look at the shelves that are already in it, they clearly have used some sort of mechanical fastener. It looks to me like a 23 gauge micro pin, which I happen to have. So in Keith's video, you make sure you've got it going the right direction. Like this, you want that lip, everything flush at the top. And then Keith says, set this up, let it set up, let it firm up, try and hold it kind of square. And that would either by taking a speed square and holding it in there, or something that's square. Or what you can do is what's called 3-4-5ing something. So if you go mark 3 inches over here, 4 inches over here, to make something square, you should have it be 5 inches along this length of the triangle. It's Pythagorean's theorem. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. We use it all the time in carpentry because it's really easy to do. 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10, whatever, multiples of that. But that's how you can square it up. So, like I said, he says just let it set up with the glue. I happen to have a 23 gauge micro pinner. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to micro pin it. I've just got little short 1/2 inch micro pins in here. Obviously, you're not gonna wanna use something longer because then you risk the chance of blowout. And that's bad. So I am tacking this thing together with the 23 gauge micro pinner. Because I do not want to wait and hope that I have left it square. So then what you end up doing is you take your shelf here, and I've still got this upside down because this will be right side up. You take your shelf here, you get the front of it, and then he recommends putting some glue along that edge. And if you were doing this without a micro pinner, you would obviously have let this sit and dry up and firm up so you're not bonking anything around. But I'm just gonna get some glue on that. This stuff dries really quite clear, so it's not the end of the world if you get a little bit of over gluing there, but I cleaned it up. And then you got to take this thing, your shelf, again with this lip on the shelf is going to end up back in here. This is the front edge of your shelf here, which you're going to want to place up there. And you're going to center it up, and you can center it up on the face relatively easily. So now we got to see how this is going to work out with the micro pins. Oh, one thing he did mention, if you're not micro pinning it, and I'll just do it, is to put a little bit of glue on here, because he truly made this kit for people that don't have any tools. Anybody can go get some sandpaper. But he glued up this whole thing. And then in his video, he instructs you to set this up here take a tape measure and make sure you've got the same distance on each side in the back here. So right now I've got 5/8 of an inch there, and I have got 9/16 of an inch there. So we want like 9/16 plus. And then I'm gonna take my micro pinner and toenail down into this back edge and do the same right here while holding good pressure on the front. So I'm gonna make sure my front is nice and lined up. I can see that if I toenail from here, it'll work out nice. And if I toenail through here, I'm gonna give some more for good measure. But if I didn't have this nail gun, I would just let this set up overnight. And there you go. You've got a drawer instead of that awful, awful shelf that you lose all your cigars off of. I did the thing where I put like Cubans and Opuses on these shelves because I was like, ooh, top shelf, you know? And they kept falling out of my humidor, and I was just very scared. Luckily, my humidor is on carpet, and so they would land on the carpet, but it had just happened too many times. So yeah, that's how you put that together. You can do it without the nail gun. It works just fine without the nail gun. You just have to be patient and let it sit. All right, one last thing I forgot to do at the bench is he does mention in his videos, these will slide in and out a lot easier. You take this sandpaper and this back corner of the shelf here, you kind of round it over. And you can see, you probably can't see in the video very well, but you can see there's like some wear on the corners of these from sliding them in and out where it clearly runs into some resistance. So Keith recommended in his video that you sand down the corner a little bit, and it just makes it slide in a lot easier. So that is how, using the Warhorse Woodworks kit, you turn this terrible shelf that doesn't do you very good into one of these drawers for 25 bucks each. And like I said, looking up where to get this wood around my house, it's like, I think it's like $29.99 for this much wood. And then to put the labor into making it into these pieces is, how much is your time worth? For me, it's just the best deal to get these conversion kits. I know he makes drawers for a number of different thermoelectrics. I think he also makes conversion kits for a number of different thermoelectrics. You'd have to look at his website, but it's a sweet deal. Obviously, you're gonna want to get these things to the right humidity. You're going to want to season this. I actually had these pieces sitting in a bag, in a Boveda bag, with a little bit of humidity for a little bit here. I will probably also, I know some people frown upon this, I will probably take some distilled water and dip a sponge in it and then wring that sponge out so it's just barely damp, and get this lightly wet a few times. You don't want to soak this, it'll cause the wood to warp. And that's not good. So just a very small amount of water, and if it's dry, it'll drink it right up. You don't want to soak it, but just to prime it a little bit. And then I have so many cigars in my humidor that even if I don't get this very wet at all, I don't think I will run into issues due to just the mass of tobacco in my humidor. So I don't think it'll be too affected by putting the wood in, especially given that I pre-seasoned it. So that's it. That's what I got on this. It's a sweet little kit. I just wanted to share it with people. Check it out. Try it out. 25 bucks to fix this rather than spending 44 on Amazon when there's a discount to get a whole new drawer when you already got half of it. And you don't even need a nail gun to do this. I have a nail gun, so I used it. You can do it just straight up glue and being patient. Remember that if you don't have a speed square, you can get something with a square edge on it. Really, like a piece of printer paper has a square edge on it in theory, or you can 3-4-5 it. Yeah, that's about all I got. Sweet little kit. check it out if you ever need one and you are sick of your cigars trying to unalive themselves falling off of the shelf. So, as always, don't forget to check out our Thursday night live stream, Cigars Unbanded. That's a good time. It's actually Thursday right now, so I'm gonna be doing that live stream soon here. If you're not subscribed to my channel and you want to for detailed cigar reviews, here's a button for that. I'll have some review over here and some playlist down here. Thanks for watching.